What is up? What is up, everybody? Finally, I made it back. I would have much rather been here last night than going through some of that weather we had, but thankfully, most of the really bad stuff was down the road a little ways, but it was definitely bad enough to affect the power and the internet. So yeah, it was a long night, but anyway, hey, not gonna complain about it. No crying about it. Actually, I'm in the roofing business, so whenever we have these tornadoes, I don't generally complain anyway. I always want people to be safe, but it doesn't really hurt my feelings when people's roofs get tore up. So just being totally honest. Uh, hey, welcome in. I see Nosy Google, and I see I see Mermaid, and hopefully we'll get some more people up in here in a few minutes. My hair Kirk's ice cold eyes. Yeah, hey, you know what? That very well could be. Let's see here, just to show you how unprepared I was. I don't even have this pulled up here, so hold please. Hold for processing. Thought I saved that, but I guess I did not. Okay. You see none of you. What is it? I see the comments. Comments is right there. Hey, do y'all like them like that? Do you like them when they're visible on the screen? I've been meaning to ask y'all about that. Maybe give that a try. So we can leave them up there, or if that bothers somebody, we can pull them back off. So let's see here. All right, where is it? There it is. Who really shot Charlie Kirk? Okay. I don't know if I don't know if y'all have seen this whole thing start to finish, or if you've seen clips or any of that. But it is it's a good video. He always does good videos. I mean, there's no denying he does good work. It's definitely interesting though. He definitely went down. He took a totally different approach on this one than what he normally does. He usually stays pretty safe, like, but yeah, he oh, that's not what I want. It's pretty good though. It's real good. All right, let's see. This is the one. This is what I want to share. Sorry, guys. Should have done this before. Mm-hmm. Nope, I don't want none of that. Let's see. Mate. No, I don't want Chrome tab. Thank you very much. Oh God, why is it won't backed up? Okay, let me do this. I'm sorry, guys. We'll plan B here. All right, YouTube. Yep, if I was professional, even in the slightest, I'd already had this ready to go. And normally I do, but I failed y'all this time. I really apologize. I'm gonna say it'll never happen again, but oh no, that may be a bit of a stretch. Whoop. Okay, no, I don't want to play it just yet. All right, now let's see if we can get that on there for y'all guys. I don't know. There's always something going on with YouTube, you know? It's the way it seems with me anyway. It's always some kind of issue, even if it's just some dumb issue. It's always some kind of issue. Okay. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere now, guys. I think I'm about to have it here, firing a hole here pretty quick. Okay. All right, guys, y'all ready? Finally. Sorry about the so terrible unprofessionalism. Hey, Mr. Rainin, I have not seen you the last couple of times I've been on. I was on with Matt, and I don't think I seen you in my last live. I don't know. Maybe it was somebody else's live. I didn't see you. Anyway, good to see you here. Glad to see you here tonight. I appreciate everybody that pops up in here. Absolutely love it. What makes it worthwhile. All right. So here we go. We are going to listen to Zack, and he is going to tell us exactly who killed Charlie Kirk. So we'll just have to see about that. Ready? All right. And well, y'all, I tell you what, YouTube hates me tonight. There it is. Good Lordy, I swear. Okay, here we go.
About who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk, and it's not Tyler Robinson. I've spent a lot of time researching what happened, and I think what most people do not understand about this case is how far down this rabbit hole goes. So get ready.
Get ready.
We're going to go max.
Oh, we're going max, y'all.
Let me start with the biggest problem of the Charlie Kirk investigation.
Uh-oh.
We all started with the assumption that he was an innocent victim. He was a martyr.
Now, I'm just going to go out right off the bat. I'm just going to come on out and say it. I think he really, really, really missed the boat right here. I don't know. I'll give you thoughts as we go, but I think he is badly mistaken. I think he is really wrong. I hope that he is honestly mistaken and that he's not doing this intentionally. You always have to worry about that, especially these days. We know about that $7,000 club and a bunch of those other clubs, but at the end of the day, whether it's intentional or not, he's wrong. Convince me otherwise is all I can say. Change my mind.
He could do no wrong. I think we all made the wrong assumption. Here's the issue. We are now at a tipping point where we have uncovered so many shady things that were going on around Charlie Kirk. It looks like there was so much wrongdoing that it is unbelievable that Charlie Kirk was unaware of at least some of what was going on. There were shady things in the financials of Turning Point, allegedly. There were violations of election laws, allegedly. There were strange connections between the staff at Turning Point and Fort Huachuca, allegedly. There was Erica Kirk's strange past, allegedly. There was just too much going on that
Now, me personally, I can say that. I can make that statement and feel comfortable without saying allegedly. She's had a strange past. There it is. No allegedly. I'm just saying. Didn't say it was criminal, but she had an extremely strange past.
No longer believed Charlie Kirk was an innocent victim.
Ah, there's Miss Susan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He was a genius.
Yes, I know, Miss Rain, and I was extremely disappointed. Like I said, maybe he's just mixed up, and I hope that's the case. If it's intentional, then we got problems.
You can tell that he was brilliant by just watching him speak. Well, he cannot be both a genius and completely unaware of what was going on around him.
Yeah, actually you can. And I would feel like, and this is allegedly, but I would feel like somebody like Mr. Zack, as good a guy as he seems to be, I would think somebody like Mr. Zack might could relate at least slightly, a little bit on the nerdy side, maybe, maybe had their head stuck in a toilet or shoved into a locker a time or two growing up. And then, probably not just always super successful with the ladies, and then all of a sudden you end up with this beautiful woman that's showing a little interest in you, and you're just like, I mean, we were talking about that on Friends with Matt the other night. This was like his first kiss. I mean, it would be so easy for him to just completely be immersed in his work and in her. And, look, at the end of the day, he loved doing campus events. He loved speaking. He loved doing that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's why he had such a big team, and that's why he paid his team as much as he did. He thought he could trust his team. And I'm sorry, Zach, but I just don't feel like he felt the need. And I don't think he would sit down and go line by line through all the books. I feel like he was like, you know what, let me go do my campus events. As long as there's money in the bank and, I don't ask for something or say I need something and all of a sudden there's no money for it when checks start bouncing, things like that. As long as the money's coming in, stuff's going out, everything's running. Charlie just seemed like the type to me to just get into what he's doing, enjoy the hell out of it, and let the people he hired take care of that part of it. Could be totally wrong, though.
How could he not figure some of this stuff out?
When a lot of the problem is your quote unquote allegedly, I'm not commenting on her looks or anything, but when a lot of the problem is your beautiful wife that you have just got, you dated for a couple weeks and then married, if allegedly she was the issue, it would be really hard to see. For one, you would never look there because you wouldn't expect, you wouldn't expect it, you would trust her. Obviously he did trust her. And if she was the one that was doing a lot of this, under the table, kind of steering things and running the show behind the scenes, he would never experience or expect that. So why would he be looking for that? Now I feel like towards the end, that's kind of probably what got him in trouble, was a combination of that and of course the whole Philadelphia thing. But I think he was starting to understand his wife there towards the end. Just saying, allegedly.
I think he not only knew about some of these alleged criminal activities, he was also involved at some level. And that changes the entire story about what happened on the day that he was murdered. In a previous video, I talked about Fort Huachuca. This is where they have the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence. I want to talk about this further. And I'm going to go back to the beginning. And stay with me because this all leads back to Charlie Kirk's murder.
That's right, Mermaid. That's words of wisdom right there. That is a very profound statement.
I'm going to go through some of the conspiracy theories of the last decade and try to pull out what is fact and what is fiction. I showed this photo in one of my previous videos. This is Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer in 2017, allegedly.
Yep, about the time he started learning what was going on, started wising up, started sniffing around, he had to go. That was it. He got to go.
At the inauguration night party at the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C.
Just for the record, this one is stupid. Just going to say that ahead of time.
They are making these weird hand signals. This is generally accepted as the hand sign for okay. but many of you have messaged me that that hand sign is also known to be used by Freemasons and the Illuminati.
And we're going off the rails.
It symbolizes the all-seeing
I believe in all that stuff, but still, we're going off the rails. Y'all see.
eye. I started looking into this. It's actually very strange. There are a lot of bizarre photos out there of celebrities and important people posing for photographs and flashing this hand sign.
Now, let's see if we can, let's do a little quick pattern recognition pop quiz in the chat here. First off, does anybody notice anything, I mean, totally different in the way that they are doing these hand signs, the way Tyler and Charlie are doing it, as opposed to every single one of these pictures that he has just flashed across the screen? Do we see the main difference? So, you can make this hand signal. Okay, Mermaid, there you go. Every single one of them has it up here. Don't clip this out, please. Every single one. Exactly. He did not have it up to his eye. Now, does that necessarily mean anything? No, but when you're trying to make a point that these guys are doing the same thing all these sickos from Hollywood's doing, you kind of need to make sure they're actually doing the same thing that the sickos from Hollywood are doing, because they're not. Just because their hand is the same doesn't mean anything. Now, I could give a little more context, but we're going to let him talk for a minute.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have never in my life posed for a photo while flashing this hand sign. Am I the only person who thinks this is strange?
I think those that you're showing are very strange.
What is going on?
I'm sorry. This is what I was saying before. You know, maybe he's just missed I don't know. But how can somebody, especially as intelligent as him, that can go through all those complicated, financial stuff and pick out the little tiny just things most people, would never catch. But he doesn't realize that these people all have their hand up to their face.
With all of these people taking these photos, are they being told to do this by the Illuminati? We don't know. But
yes, Miss Nose at Google, I have watched this, so I kind of know. I know where it's going. Like I said, it's good, it's interesting, but I have issues with it and concerns. Not really ever had concerns before, but this one, and there was one other he did on the whole Philly and Gaza situation. Between that one and this one right here, I don't know. I'm kind of got some concerns.
I think it's kind of strange. Now, recently, I was playing a video game with my friends, and this happened.
But yeah, I've just started just drinking mostly water. I don't know. It's always a good idea, especially in like a dry environment like Arizona is, where I'm at. It's always important to stay hydrated.
Did you see that? I flashed the same sign.
Yep.
Now, I swear.
Except it wasn't the same.
I was not trying to send any bizarre secret message. That was just an inadvertent hand movement. I didn't even realize I was doing it. So I do admit that it is possible that someone can randomly make this hand sign. But here's the difference. I was not posing for a photograph. These guys are posing with this hand sign. And it's not just one person, they are both doing it. This is intentional.
It was intentional. And I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the, exactly, he's trying to make a point, but in so doing, he is, yeah, he just missed it on that one. So, I don't know if y'all remember, but back in 2016, Trump was the outsider. Trump was the non-politically correct. You had all the meme stuff going on. People were saying and doing things that you would never do, you know, things that people considered to be edgy as far as, politics goes. And look, there's a lot of things that they have said that is, yeah, they say the Illuminati, you got the 666, and then what was the other? There's a couple different. Oh yeah, one of them is like racist. There's all kinds of ways to interpret it. At the end of the day, there had been a big back and forth between conservatives and mainstream news and, others about, what does that mean? Does it actually mean anything? Should it mean anything? I can do it without it meaning anything, basically. And I'm giving you the very, very short version. But I feel like that was both of them making an attempt to be somewhat edgy, and they were being cute, and it didn't have anything to do with the Illuminati, and they were just like, boop. I could be wrong, but I think I'm a lot closer than he is. Yes, please do hit the like button. I would say hit it twice, but if you hit it twice, it's going to unlike, and that does me no good at all. So yeah, please hit it once. Thank you.
The more I look at this photograph, the more I realize how bizarre and creepy it is. It's even...
I'm not getting creeped out at all. Just saying. I don't know about y'all. Anybody in the chat getting creeped out by that? So creepy.
More strange in the context of this being the inauguration party for Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
It is like they're sending a message to a secret society as if to say, mission accomplished. Keep in mind that Tyler Boyer proudly states in his bio on the Turning Point website how he is a 7th-generation Arizonan. He comes from a powerful...
If you live in Arizona for a very long time, you're Illuminati.
Mormon family. So it is not unreasonable to think that he is getting involved with Freemasons even at a young age. This photograph suggests to me that both Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer were part of some secret society from the beginning. What is also important is that this photograph happened before Candace Owens started working for Turning.
Yes, Mermaid. For some reason, the Republican Party is full of a bunch of closet queers. And I'm so sorry. I hope that doesn't get me canceled or get the video banned. But look, the main difference is I think it has to do with politics. I think in politics, for some reason, men just like men. And the difference is in the Democrat Party, it's cool. I mean, you can put on a dress, a man can put on a dress and go hang out in Congress, and everything's just fine. Most Republicans generally kind of frown upon that. So, yeah, they all end up keeping it in the closet.
Point. This photograph was taken in January 2017. Candace started working at Turning Point in November 2017. Candace Owens has been doing the most thorough investigation into Charlie Kirk's death. She says this.
Yeah, Kanye sent this now infamous tweet. I love the way Candace Owens thinks. I believe, and I'm saying this retrospectively, that from that moment onward, Charlie and I were assigned handlers. Okay, this is an expression that Kanye used to say, have a handler. I thought that he was just saying that. I thought that he was referring to just Hollywood. I now very much believe that I have had handlers since 2018, and that things were done intentionally to pull me and Charlie apart.
What Candace Owens does not realize is that there is a growing possibility that her handler was Charlie Kirk himself.
How did we go from the last video, considering that everybody around him was deceiving him, that they were doing all this shady stuff, all this? We had no progression. How did we go from that to Charlie Kirk knew about everything? Charlie Kirk was Illuminati, and Charlie Kirk was Candace's handler. I mean, did we not skip a few steps somewhere? I mean, like, how did we get here from there? I'm just curious. That, again, is what makes me wonder. Maybe he missed it. Maybe he meant to miss it. I don't know.
If Charlie Kirk was already involved in a secret society in 2017, it is likely that he was given the task of keeping an eye on Candace Owens. I think that Charlie Kirk was a double agent from the beginning. Candace has released a bunch of text messages between the two. Charlie Kirk says, "Are you ready for the war that's coming? We gonna fight, we gonna win, they will lose." Candace responds, "So effing exciting." Charlie says, "Yes." Candace is not gonna like me saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I think it's the truth.
Uh-oh. She'll get her battle bun on, and that'll be the end of Zack.
In my opinion, those text messages read like Charlie Kirk is trying to groom Candace Owens to become part of.
Which man are we referring to there in the chat? Unless you don't want to say. If it's a secret, forget I asked.
Their secret operation. It did not work out because Candace Owens is really bad at taking orders from people. For some reason, she's just not good at following orders. I don't think she would do very well in the military. And we know the rest of the story. Candace Owens left Turning Point, and the rest is history. The bottom line is this photograph exists, and there has to be an explanation for it.
Yep. But it doesn't necessarily have to be Illuminati.
And if you think I've gone off the deep end, hold on, because there's a whole lot more. Charlie
I was afraid of that.
Kirk was murdered on September 10th, 2025. On October 19th, 2025, I made a video on my working theory of what actually happened. My initial reaction was that the intelligence community was somehow involved. I saw too many similarities with the JFK assassination.
They're always involved. It's just a matter of which one specifically and how much. They're always involved.
Which many people now believe involved people within the CIA. I published that video 1 month after the murder. We now...
Miss Raining, I was kind of the same way. I still am disappointed, but, I know there's a lot of people like you have made comments like that. So I'm such a selfless person that every Sunday when he has one come out, I go and watch it just so if there's something like this that you need to hear, I bring it to you. So you're welcome.
Know so much more information, and I want to update my working theory. I now believe that in the US, there's a growing conflict going on between the different intelligence agencies. In the US, you have the national intelligence agencies like the CIA. Then each branch of the military has their own intelligence. CIA headquarters is in Langley, Virginia, which is only 8 miles from downtown Washington, D.C. The CIA tends to lean Democrat. We know this because of their involvement in scandals like the Russian collusion hoax during Hillary.
So I don't remember if he addresses this or goes that far into it, but the CIA doesn't just, it's not just the CIA that leans left, it's the intelligence community, period. Look at the FBI. Look what they did to Trump, all the stuff that they cooked up over the Russian thing. It's our intelligence community in general. For some reason, they do all tend to lean left. So he's right. The CIA does, but it's not just the CIA.
Clinton's election and the hoax about the Hunter Biden laptop during Joe Biden's election.
Woohoo! Look, I've always heard this, and it seemed to work for me. They always say, you can go ahead and smoke 1 pack of the Marlboros, but just keep them. Keep them in your purse, whatever. Stick them in your pocket. Don't take the wrapper loose, leave them completely sealed up, and then go to the vape. But I've had several people tell me, and again, I feel like it helped me. But as long as you know you have the pack, you're okay. But if you go ahead and smoke that last pack, every minute of every day, you're going to think about them until you go to the store and get you another pack. So, like I said, burn through the one if you want, and then just don't open up the second pack. Go to the vape. You'll be good.
In both of those situations, the CIA used their power to try to swing the presidential election for the Democrats. The military is different. They are spread out on bases throughout the country, and they tend to lean Republican. Now imagine this scenario. Military intelligence is sitting there, watching the CIA commit crimes during the Russian collusion hoax. We now understand that.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and preface this a little bit. I am well aware, very, very familiar, not necessarily completely bought into it, but I am familiar and am aware. I don't know if y'all are, but he's fixing to start going into the whole 17th letter of the alphabet, which is also known as Q. And he'll go into a little bit of it history-wise. So he's convinced that it was an actual thing, and there's been several times where I've felt like it was too, and it may very well be. But where we differ is like the application of it, which way. Like we might both believe in the whole Q thing, but we take different paths on what exactly was trying to be done.
Obama directed the CIA to produce the 2017 ICA using the unreliable Steele dossier to claim Russia helped Trump win. Military intelligence is watching this and thinking, if the CIA is breaking the law to try to get their candidate to win, we're going to do the same thing. If you think this is not possible, do you know who convinced Donald Trump?
Okay. Sorry. Try not to make this take too long. So, according to the whole Q thing, there was a documentary type thing that came out years ago, like in 2017. It's called The Plan to Save the World. So what he's saying is the intelligence communities broke the law to get a Democrat in office. So he feels like the military decided, hey, we're right, not left. Let's break the law. We'll just go ahead and break the law too, so we can get a Republican in office. And maybe that's the case. But the whole basis of where he's going with this is, I don't know, you may have heard of this stuff, you may not have, but there was a, and this is a lot of this come out of the WikiLeaks stuff that Julian Assange and them dropped back in 2015, 16, whenever it was. But that there was a 16-year plan, 8 years of Obama, and then 8 years of Hillary, just to finish us off, to completely destroy the United States and basically, I guess leave us in such bad shape that somebody like China or somebody could kind of come in and pick up the pieces, and there we'd be, no longer be a superpower, Regardless, though, there was a 16. General Michael Flynn has spoke about this 16-year plan. I mean, and he's very, very. He was military intelligence, as a matter of fact. So, believe him, not believe him, I don't know, but he has talked about this before. So, the whole theory is that this was not about getting a Republican in office just because this was a way to keep Hillary Clinton from getting in office, to finish us off by being in office for 8 years. And most anybody that's got a decent head on their shoulders and looks at things objectively, regardless of any of this mess, would tell you that 8 years of Hillary Clinton probably would have been the end of us.
Trump to run for president when he announced the first time in 2015. It was someone from the military. We know this because Trump said it himself in a speech.
It was. He was asked to run.
2000.
You know what? Now that he's come out with this, now that I'm going over this, I'll tell you what we're going to have to do just to get a little better understanding of exactly what all this mess is. I'm going to have to do that. We may do that plan to save the world documentary one day. We'll go through it, so at least you can get the other side of it. It would probably make it a lot clearer than even me explaining it. And hey, you may not believe it, what have you, but it'd definitely be entertaining and be some good subject matter.
2015, I sat with Joe at a dinner, and believe it or not, I was getting a big award from the Marines. And Joe was presenting the awards, and I had no even thought of running for president. And I said to my wife and family, look at that guy. He's a great-looking guy, isn't he? He's like central casting. He's like right out of Hollywood. But he made the great presentation that night, and I got to talk to him because I sat with him and Ellen and his son, Patrick. And I was asking Joe lots of questions about the military. He said, you really enjoy this, don't you? I said, well, I just love our country. It's very important to me. I love our country. I said, I don't know. What do you think? Should I give it a shot? This was before it was public. He was one of the first people I asked. I said, what do you think? You think I'd have a shot? If I get it, we're going to rebuild that military. It's going to be stronger than ever before. And he helped me form an opinion. He gave me a lot of information, and he has ever since. So for that, I want to thank you and Ellen, and I want to thank Patrick. I hope I got his name right. It's a long time ago, but I think his name was Patrick, right? Did I do good?
This is the story Trump tells. In 2015, he had no idea he was going to run for president. He was at this dinner for the Marines, and he was approached by Joseph Dunford. Joseph Dunford was the commandant of the Marine Corps, which is the highest-ranking officer for the Marines. He became the chairman.
Mermaid, I'm like a lot of people. I have that rule against links, but you know what? You spend enough time in here. If you want to post the link in there, yeah, I'll do that. I trust you're not going to give me some kind of virus.
Of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under the end of Obama's term and the beginning of Trump's. This military man told Donald Trump something.
And yes, I know what video you're talking about, but we can play it so everybody else can see it. It is so bad.
Thing at this dinner that convinced him to run for president. Joseph Dunford's background is interesting. Senior level Marines typically attend the Marine Corps War College. Joseph Dunford did not attend the Marine Corps War College. Instead, he attended the U.S. Army War College. That means that his personal network included a lot of people from the Army. You are going to see that the U.S. Army is a recurring theme in this video. So Donald Trump starts to run for president against Hillary Clinton. And this happened during the debates.
And that's why 10 people who have had that awesome responsibility have come out and in an unprecedented way said they would not trust Donald Trump with the nuclear codes or to have his finger on the nuclear button.
I have 200 generals and admirals, 21 endorsing me.
Donald Trump said that he was endorsed by 200 generals and admirals. This was a strange comment to make. He made this claim multiple times during the campaign, but never produced a list of the 200 generals and admirals. In fact, he produced a list of only 88 endorsements by generals and admirals. The media had a field day with this, and they claimed that Donald Trump was lying. I don't think that's what happened. I think that he was endorsed by these generals in secret, and only 88 wanted to endorse him publicly. But it sounds to me like he was getting additional support behind the scenes from the military. I want to go back to this image that I showed in a previous video. This is the emblem for the 110th Military Intelligence Brigade. Gold and oriental blue are the official colors of military intelligence. Now I'm going to show you Donald Trump's inauguration speech in January 2017. Do you notice that the person standing behind Donald Trump is wearing...
Now, this is legit, and I'm just going to tell you right now, this is very strange. And for me personally, I just feel like, as profound as it is, I'm not saying I know exactly what it means, but I feel like it means more than we're the military, we're going to break the law to get you elected. I don't know. But this guy standing behind him, that is military intelligence. Now, if you watch this full clip, when he first starts giving that speech, and I'm going to tell you right now, that speech still makes my hair stand up when I hear it. It was a great speech. Now, when he gives the speech, right when he gets to a certain point, it's either 6 or 8 high-ranking military officers come down the stairs and line up behind him. They stand there, and then, like on cue, when he gets to a certain point, they turn around and they walk back off. I went back just to see. I watched Reagan's inauguration. I watched both Bush inaugurations. I watched the Clinton inauguration. I watched the Obama inauguration. None of them ever had one single military person anywhere close to them during their inauguration speech. So regardless of what exactly it means, I feel like it does mean something. And I'm not trying to sound like some, weird conspiracy theorist, but it had to have meant something. Do I necessarily think it's what Zack says? No. But I do feel like it did mean something. I do feel like that especially the upper echelons of the military, for whatever reason, for better or worse, they did back Trump. And I don't know. I strongly believe that because, like I said, this is the only time that I have ever found that anything like this has happened.
The colors of military intelligence.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Now, the crowd is eating this up, but I think it is significant that the person standing behind Donald Trump's shoulder during his inauguration speech is military.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, Miss Susan, but I don't think that's the way. I don't think that's the way it was meant to be. I mean, like, I don't think it was as much about them turning their backs on them. It was like on cue, they came down the stairs, they stood behind the president, and then on cue, they turned around and then they walked back up like they were meant to be there for just a particular thing, and then they left. So anyway, Miss Susan, I'm not even going into all that. I'm just saying I feel like that really meant it meant something, for better or for worse, regardless. So, Mermaid, I don't know if it automatically got blocked or what have you, but I'm fixing to stick my email address in here. Just shoot it to that. And I could probably find it, but if you want to email it to me, that'd be great. There we go.
Intelligence. Then in 2017, the DoD spends $2.4 million to lease space in Trump Tower. Now, I know that the president needs extra security, but this seems a little extreme, given that Trump barely spent any time at Trump Tower during his presidency. Someone who is key to understanding what is going on is the comedian Roseanne Barr.
Greetings, Earthling.
And she's going to go into a little bit of this, and she agrees with him about the military backing him, everything, but she is not going to agree at all what the purpose of it is for. So just so you know, she's following a little more along my thinking than, I'm not saying I agree with her totally, but I mean, she's following a little more my train of thought than what Zack says here.
And humans and others and any members of the animal kingdom who like to tune in because they love my voice. They understand that finally a voice
Roseanne's got the voice of an angel, don't she?
of intelligence has pierced this realm of bullshit. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast.
Now, she is known for saying some controversial things. A lot of people laugh her off because she is a comedian. I think we should have all taken Roseanne a little bit more seriously. She has a podcast where she interviewed Derek Johnson.
She's a little too pro-Philly, which I can kind of understand because she's, that's what her bloodline is. But yeah, anyway.
Derek Johnson is a pretty extreme conspiracy theorist. His theory is that Donald Trump was a military plant. He believes that Joe Biden was executed and replaced with a body double, and that Donald Trump has been the president this whole time. That sounds pretty wild. But in hindsight, they say some pretty interesting things in this interview.
They don't realize, they think military is a part of the government. It's not. It's a separate entity.
Okay, so just to stop you here, because this is really good information. It's your theory, right, that everything happening now the last 3.5 years as Biden is president is actually a military operation conducted and controlled and ran by Donald Trump, who's still the commander in chief, right?
Well, now, and I would say it too is this, that first portion, yes.
Okay.
When I say commander in chief, I want people to realize that you never, so it's a wartime president is the actual term.
Okay.
Oh, well, I
So
want
he's-
you to start here. Wait.
Well, yeah.
Yes, Miss Rainey, that's exactly what I mean. Little too heavy.
He'll answer it. But you said a line was drawn in the sand in 2016. What was that line?
But April 2016, Special Operations Command put out a publication. And inside that publication, it's got a diagram in there. And I tell people, I joke about the old pyramid schemes. You know, I used to have buddies that were getting pyramid schemes in college, and they get you the first time.
He is correct that something strange did happen in 2016. The U.S. Army published this document, the Unconventional Warfare Pocket Guide. This was published during Donald Trump's first election campaign. This guide contains something called the Soro diagram. It shows different techniques on how to conduct unconventional warfare. The Pocket Guide describes this as unconventional warfare is the support to a resistance movement. The idea is to use covert operations to achieve political power. This is a whole list of things you can do to influence a population, and you should note that this list includes assassination. Now, I want to be clear about what is legal here. It is legal for the U.S. to assassinate someone as long as it is part of an official military operation if they can justify that national security is at risk. For instance, assassinating an al-Qaeda leader in Afghanistan was considered legal as part of the U.S. war on terror. This was all explained in the official Department of Defense Law of War manual. So in certain circumstances, assassination is legal.
He's going way too far into this. Yes, be watching or be expecting that here in the very near future. We're going to have to dig into this a little bit because this stuff really interests me. I get my tinfoil hat on and I love to look at this stuff. So yeah, we're definitely going to dig into this a little more. Maybe y'all can get a little better understanding of what he's even talking about here. Because if you're not familiar with this thing, you know, yeah, you can listen to him explain it and me give a little context to it. But we're definitely going to go over this whole theory from a little bit different point of view in detail.
But I think anyone would have a hard time justifying that the assassination of an American citizen like Charlie Kirk would be for national security. Something like that should be prosecuted as murder in a court of law. The U.S. Army actually published a number of publications about the Soro diagram during this same time period. Here's another example from an article in 2017 in Special Warfare, which is a professional journal of U.S. Army Special Forces, also published out of Fort Bragg. So we have multiple publications of the Soro diagram and U.S. Army documents around 2016 to 2017. This was clearly a topic of conversation within the Army at this time. The question we should be asking ourselves is why? Were they using unconventional warfare against the American people?
President Trump's the face of the operation. Beautifully because of this. He was an outsider. And then he also had a military background as he went to a military academy. And I know some veterans struggle with that, but whatever. He was a school where he was sent off.
Yeah.
He didn't go home every day, like sent off.
He knows better than the average.
Right. He knows better than the average. He's also a brilliant businessman in other manners. And some people are going to argue with that, but
And
whatever.
builder.
But a builder, innovative. He knows a lot of people all over the world. And then the people who argue with that, well, that's just whatever. There's always going to be resistance somewhere.
We can argue about whether Derek Johnson has his facts right about Joe Biden's body double and those other specifics. But I think his general concept is a legitimate question. Has there been a covert military operation going on since 2016? That is a big question. Were people in the military trying to influence the U.S. election to benefit Donald Trump? And was Turning Point and Charlie Kirk a part of this military operation all the way back in 2016, even before Candace Owens started working for Turning Point? Roseanne Barr also went on the Tim Pool podcast and said this.
I'll start from the beginning. First, we can talk about the NDAA indefinite detention authorization.
I believe that they were all arrested.
Oh no.
I believe that they took everybody out.
Here we go. Oh no. Never happened.
That they're playing their parts and that we're going to see military tribunals by the end of this year. I believe it.
What about another 1,000? So the military tribunals will be public?
They already have happened.
Will they be public by the end of the year?
Yes.
You want to bet another $1,000?
Roseanne,
I like $1,000 on that too.
Okay, so
she says that high-level officials have already been arrested and had military tribunals. She was wrong in her statement because it has never been made public. But did military tribunals happen? We really don't know.
Okay, so yeah, the conspiracy's getting deep now. Again, I'm not saying I believe one way or the other. I'm not 100% convinced, but it at least makes you think. It is an interesting thought. So I don't know if y'all remember, but there was Joe Biden. And then all of a sudden there was a 7-foot-tall Joe Biden. There was a picture of him leaving the White House. And like, he was literally like, oh, I mean, everybody else's head was hitting him at about his shoulder. And it wasn't just because he was way out in front, but sorry, excuse me. There were, it seemed like a few different versions of Biden. There was the one that really couldn't get a word out. Then there was the one that could do halfway decent. At times he looked older. At times he looked younger. There was the whole earlobe thing. I don't know how much of that y'all saw. But it is, again, it's just an interesting thought. So just saying. Yeah, there you go. Like 10 different clones. Mermaid, exactly. I believe that regardless of what that means. I really do. I mean, maybe not necessarily clones, but they got some kind of body doubles. They have to. I mean, a person doesn't change that much from one day to the next. And that man, there was different versions of him. I don't care what anybody says. Not trying to sound like a, full-on conspiracy nut, but, I'm sorry. There had to have been different ones of him.
Oh. What she is calling tribunals could have just been backroom.
Yeah, you got the beach one. I mean, look, when he fell off the bicycle, he had look at what appeared to be like a 20, 30-year-old set of legs, not a 83-year-old set of legs or whatever.
Meetings where they pull in powerful people and tell them, we know what crimes you have committed. You either go along with our plan or spend the rest of your life in prison. You could call those meetings tribunals. You could call them whatever you want.
So this right here, I have a problem with. No. You could not call those meetings tribunals. A tribunal has a very specific meaning, and it is basically a military court, and it is a very special proceeding. And there are, like, a tribunal is a tribunal. It's not a secret meeting. You can't just call it a tribunal, but either way.
But I would not be surprised if those meetings happened.
There are a lot of things we don't know about. There's a lot of things the government is doing we don't know about.
There's nothing I don't know about, honey. I am a nosy old Jewish woman, and I can get in anywhere. You know what? One thing is when you're as famous and damn good looking as me, Tim, I can stick my nose in anybody's business. I know how. I'm a grandmother, and I have stuck my nose in the thick of it this time.
In my opinion, I do not believe that Roseanne has all of her facts correct. But it sounds to me like she's talking to someone. She says that she used her fame.
And I'll just go ahead and tell you, I know who that someone is. I've heard this someone speak a lot. You hear him a lot on Rumble. You really don't. Every now and then you'll catch a clip like on David Nino Rodriguez. You'll see him on there. But his name is 107. Not going to vouch for the guy. Not going to say what he says is, legit or true or anything. But this is the person that she gets most of this information from. Now, he doesn't subscribe to some of the crazier things that she says, but as far as the whole military operation and all this that's going on, this is Mr. 107.
To get in contact with a high-level military official.
Yes, I got it, Mermaid. I figured maybe either when we get to a good breaking point or at the end. Either way, I'm going to play it, though.
Who is telling her.
We definitely watch it.
Her that something is going on behind the scenes in the military to influence the election of Donald Trump. Given everything that has been happening, I think we need to find out who Roseanne Barr is talking to. In a shocking development, Roseanne does not agree with Candace Owens about what happened during Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah, what's her take on Candace Owens?
Monster.
Uh-huh.
If I see the bitch, I'll knock her the fuck out.
She loves peddling.
Oh.
She loves what?
Peddling conspiratorial crap.
Where is all this violence coming from? Roseanne is close with all of these military.
It's coming from Philadelphia. That's where it always comes from. Damn, Zack, come on.
Contacts, and now
according to Zack, there's no violence at all going on over there. Gaza's like they're full of resorts and people are laying around in the shade.
She wants to punch Candace Owens in the face. You might think all of this is crazy, but I hope that you realize that there are people out there who.
Yeah, Mermaid, we're going to definitely dig into this a little further. And I don't mean so I can convince you of anything, but it is really interesting. And there are some things that really make you have questions. And I think maybe you could connect some dots. What exactly the end result will be is, to be determined. What exactly the purpose was, again, we don't know, but, I'm going to at least, we'll go over all this, like I said, it'll be interesting regardless, but at least you could see the background of all this stuff that he's talking about and what the actual theory is he has kind of run across and picked pieces out of.
Talk openly about the military overthrowing the U.S. government.
Roseanne, she knows. She don't want none of that.
When I was in D.C. a few months ago, meeting with the Justice Department, I went out and did some live streams. People saw these, millions of views, at the monument everywhere. And I would have the National Guard come over, and we turn the cameras off. They would talk to us, and it was every National Guard group. I talked to 6 or 7 groups when I was there for 3 days. Men and women, old and young, Hispanic, black, white. All of them said, we're listeners. We've already been told by our command.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I don't remember which one of you said it, but something about them turning their back on him. We're fixing to see that. Now, that was very interesting in 2020 when Biden was elected. Now, that's turning your back on the president. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but yeah, whenever the presidential motorcade come by, all those like 30,000 troops they brought into D.C., maybe not all of them, but a majority of them, as he was coming through with their motorcade, they turned their backs as he was going by, which is not the way it normally gets done.
That the Democrats are planning an uprising and a civil war. We know this. We're just.
Yeah, he's going to show that clip.
Being soft deployed ahead of what's coming. That is the enlisted lowest level. So the Democrats better know your dog ain't hunting. I mean, the military gets it, at least at the enlisted level.
That is Alex Jones. Alex Jones loves conspiracy theories.
Now, there it is, the gay bomb. Look it up for yourself. I mean, this is what do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby. And I'm not saying people didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it, quite frankly. I mean, give me a break. You think I am like shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people? I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of being.
That's exactly what it was, Mermaid. I can tell you that much.
Social engineered. It's not funny.
There has never been a conspiracy.
I believe more than anybody, I believe the military people knew that there was some shenanigans that went on. And I feel like, I feel like they more than anybody knew that that was not legitimate.
Theory that Alex Jones does not like until the Charlie Kirk murder. For the first.
Exactly. Now, this I agree with 100%. He's loved every single conspiracy that he could get his hands on. And on this one, no interest whatsoever. None. Zero. Zilch. Oh, the feds have got it.
First time that I'm aware of, Alex Jones has come out and said that everyone should just trust the government.
It's a black hole. Candace, I'm worried about you. I care about you. And you're only digging the hole deeper. Most people 3 weeks ago agreed with you because there are a lot of questions about Charlie. It needs to be investigated. Okay? And it exploded your show. It was already huge. Okay? Now most people think you've gone crazy.
I find this reaction very strange. Alex Jones is taking the government side. This has convinced me more than anything else that something.
This is the this is the making the frogs gay guy.
is going on here. And just like Roseanne Barr, Alex Jones has high-level contacts with the military.
I've had some high-level folks in Army Special Operations call me 2 days ago saying that they're getting major intel that there are hit teams out with a high priority to kill me and others.
I want you to consider how bizarre this is. He says, I've had some high-level folks in Army Special Operations call me about threats on his life. He didn't get a call from the police or the FBI. He got a call from someone high up at Army Special Operations. That is strange. That does not usually happen. What kind of relationship does Alex Jones have with the military where he gets these one-on-one communications? I think it is worth revisiting.
One thing to consider, here we go. We're going into the 17th letter. One thing to consider about that, though, is when you're somebody like Alex with a platform like he has, we're not going to talk about any of the crazy stuff or his thing with Candace, none of that considered at all. But when you have a platform like Alex, been around as long as Alex, you know, his platform is worldwide. His reach is worldwide. And so, I don't think he necessarily said or meant that this supposed assassination plot was, necessarily from a U.S., from the U.S. It would not be too far-fetched to believe that this would be some other nation state, maybe, or at least somebody from a different country. Could possibly be. In that case, your local police is not going to have information on that. It would be military intelligence. I mean, if we're talking about somebody from a foreign country. So, I mean, yeah, it's probably a little odd, but at the end of the day, especially if it was an assassination attempt from some other country, I could see it being military.
QAnon. This is something that happened. We don't know all the details. We don't know who was behind it. But QAnon did happen. Between 2017 and 2020, leading up to the election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, someone using the codename Q began posting information online. They used the name Q because
have any of y'all heard about this at all? Like, do y'all, when you hear Q, does it bring anything to mind? Have y'all heard anything about this?
Because they claim to have a Q-level security clearance, which is the top secret clearance used by the Department of Energy. The best explanation I have heard of QAnon was from Jacob Chansley, who became known.
Well, yes. And we know now that Pizzagate was real. And so, yeah, that's where that originated from. So, yes, you're right. A lot about that. And like I said, we know now that, call it what you will, all those crazy things everybody said was just kooky conspiracy. I mean, according to the DOJ's own documents, you know, with Einstein and all of the related people, I mean, that looks like that was pretty real. So, yes, the question is, was it intended to help the American people? Was it intended to actually bring things to the American people that couldn't be brought any other way? Was it intended for good, or was it some type of, it was a psyop either way, but was it a good psyop or was it a bad psyop? And so he's saying here, the road he's going down is that it was bad, that all it was just a psyop to get people to vote Republican. I mean, that's literally where he's going with this. At the end of the day, he's going to say a lot of words, but that's what he means. That this whole Q thing was legit, but it was just intended to get people to vote Republican. That's where he's going with this.
Known as a QAnon shaman.
I don't know what QAnon is. All I know about QAnon is they say.
And there is no QAnon. Everybody always says that. There's Q, then there's Anon. Q is the one that was making these posts that was supposedly, you know, from a high-ranking official in the government. Anons were people that would stay anonymous online, that would take these posts or drops, and they would, you know, kind of do their best to translate them or what have you, because sometimes they were kind of coded and cryptic. So yes, they say this all the time, but there actually is no QAnon. There's Q, and then there's Anons.
You're a QAnon person, and they say that QAnon's a right-wing thing, and the only time I ever hear about it is on CNN.
Let's break this down. Q is a psychological operation. In order for mass formation hypnosis to occur, that 25 to 30% of the population has to gain some sort of heightened level of radicalism where they scream the loudest and then they get a hold of the levers of power, right? Now, when it comes down to stopping this process from happening, all you need is 5% or more of the population to not become hypnotized and say, no, this is ludicrous. You are nuts. We are not doing that. Now, we've seen the effects of mass formation hypnosis, critical factor bypass, and neurolinguistic programming in Nazi Germany. We saw it with the
We've seen it in 2020 when it comes to the old, COVID-19 scenario too, you know.
Bolshevik Revolution in Russia and the USSR. We saw in the Red Revolution in China and the Chinese Communist Party, okay? So we've seen the effects of this process, and it is psychological warfare.
What he is saying is that he believes that QAnon was a reaction to Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is well documented. We know it existed. It was a CIA program to influence the US mainstream media. In 2013, Obama signed a law called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act.
And a lot of people don't even know about this. The ones that have heard of this don't really understand what it means. But this Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, the key word in there is modernization, because the initial law that was, the initial bill that was signed into law was the Smith-Mundt Act. And that made it illegal for the intelligence agencies, the military, and all that to literally propagandize us, the American people. And that's through direct means, I guess, but, you know, through the Hollywood, through the mainstream media, all that was made illegal. I don't remember what the date was on when that law was signed in, when that bill was signed into law. But then he signs in the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. That modernization basically just meant that they took out that part where it's not illegal to do it anymore.
Within the scope of normal CIA operations,
ever since Obama, it's completely legal for our intelligence agencies and the military, whoever, to basically just feed us straight propaganda.
They create propaganda materials for foreign countries. This new law removed restrictions so that the U.S. government could now share these.
Exactly, Raining. Permission to lie. But the worst kind of lie, not just, getting out there and just saying a direct lie, but to slowly feed you misinformation, to convince you of the lie when you haven't even actually heard the lie told. That's the scary part.
Materials with the U.S. media. People will criticize this claim by saying that we don't know for sure if the CIA is doing this. And that is true. We have no idea what the CIA.
Oh, they've got a permanent office at Universal Studios in Hollywood, but I'm sure they're not propagandizing us
is doing
in any way.
I cannot point to any specific examples of people at ABC or CBS who are spewing government propaganda.
Really? I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but Sean Hannity, I don't know if y'all have ever seen it before, but sometimes he wears this little lapel pin. It's not like the little American flag lapel pin like a lot of them wear. He's got one. It's literally a CIA lapel pin.
But it is in the law. You can go read it for yourself.
Another example, Iran tried twice to assassinate the president of the United States. Don't believe it? I don't believe it at all. And there's a lot of people smarter than me that don't believe that. In fact, there's a lot of people smarter than me that feel like the ones that attempted twice to assassinate the president was our greatest ally. Hence as to why he got a gift from Mr. BB himself, which was a golden exploding pager in a glass case, something pretty to put on display. That way, every time he's seen it, it could remind him of what would happen if he don't play ball. And I feel like that is probably part of the problem.
We just don't know to what extent it is happening.
So Q is this person who's posting questions.
I don't think it's a person. I think it's a group.
So Q is a group that's posting questions on fora like 4chan or this other one.
Amen, Miss Rainey. Amen. I mean, neocon asshole from the very beginning.
Yeah. Akun. And you're saying that is a psyop from the highest levels of government.
Or I would say most likely highest levels of the military.
Okay.
Because military intelligence and the intelligence community tend to work together.
Sure.
Now, what led me to that conclusion is the numerical code in the Q drops themselves and the gap code between the time that Trump would tweet something and Q would do a Q drop and what is called the Q clock. What the Q drops were doing was very, very similar to the way military intelligence communicates. And this is how it is that you're able to communicate a message in plain sight without the enemy knowing what exactly it is that you're saying because it's all encrypted, it's all encoded.
This is the story of QAnon. The CIA was using Project.
Yeah, I know. I have long believed that this guy, this Jacob Chansley guy, the way he dresses up like that, I've just had this feeling from the get-go that he was put there intentionally just to discredit all of it. He's real smart. He puts it out pretty succinctly. But anybody that sits there and watches him explain it dressed up like that, like it's freaking Halloween, I mean, most people are not going to take him serious.
Mockingbird. They were feeding propaganda to the media in an attempt to influence the election for Joe Biden. Military intelligence responded with QAnon to try and influence.
No, so that guy was actually arrested on January the 6th. He was there when all that went down at the Capitol. If you go back and look at some of those pictures from January the 6th out in front of the Capitol, you'll see him dressed up exactly like he's dressed up in this video. Yeah, actually, there's some picture and video of him inside of Congress with all that stuff.
It's the election for Donald Trump. These were competing psychological operations aimed at the American people, allegedly. We all know what happened in 2020. the mainstream media announced Joe Biden was the winner of the 2020 presidential election. The people listening to QAnon believed the election was stolen. This resulted in the protests at the Capitol. What I am saying is that I believe that all of this was orchestrated by the intelligence agencies, and we, the American people, are the victims. If you do not believe me, let me remind you of something. There is roughly 2 months between Election Day in November and when the new president takes office in January. During this period, Donald Trump made very few public appearances. In fact, in 2 months, he only made 5 public appearances. One of those appearances was to go to West Point for the Army football game on December 12th, 2020. This is very interesting in hindsight, given what we know. I want you to watch this footage and tell me what you see. Does this look like a man who was just defeated in an election? Because it looks to me that this is Donald Trump telling the Army that no matter who is in the White House, that he is still the Army's president for the next 4 years.
This is the way I've always kind of looked at it. And yeah, y'all just watch. Not to mention the fact that, to my knowledge, outgoing presidents do not leave on Air Force One. And I do know that incoming presidents, when they fly in D.C. For the inauguration, they're always flown in either on Air Force One or Air Force Two. Donald Trump, I know for a fact, left and flew to West Palm Beach on Air Force One. And I also know for a fact that Joe Biden, when he flew in for his inauguration, I mean, he was literally on a like a private jet. It was not an Air Force jet. It was not Air Force One. It was not Air Force Two. Very strange and very interesting. Yeah, it is. It's really interesting, Mermaid. I just saying, just wait. We'll dig into it a little further. Like I said, if nothing else, for entertainment purposes only. But we'll take a little closer look at this. That way, you can get a little better context and know exactly what he's talking about here. And this is the kind of thing I tried to tell people right after the fact, right after the election, tried to point out some of these things here. And oh my God, I got horse laughed. I mean, like, it's just, you're so ridiculous. Like, what are you even talking about? But when you step back and you really look about it and think about it, especially if you compare to other presidencies, it's definitely different. Well, I'm glad you like it, Mermaid. I'm glad we decided to do this.
What do you think? Because I think that it is telling that out of the few public appearances that Trump makes, he decides to go to the Army football game. And then we saw what happened during Joe Biden's inauguration.
Here we go.
They brought in the National Guard to lock down Washington, D.C.
Here we go.
And as Joe Biden's motorcade was driving through the city, large numbers of the military were turning their backs to the president's car.
And this is no shit. I seen this in real time when I was watching this thing live, and it got to this point, and I saw this. I was like, "Oh my God!" Again, I went back and looked at other inaugurations. You know, the motorcade after the fact, and like I could not ever find this.
Now, when this video started going viral, a spokesperson for the National Guard released an official statement saying that the troops were not.
It is, but if what has been alleged to happen happened, I mean, I can't say that I blame them. If they were convinced, and especially if they had seen proof and been told from higher up brass, that this man is not legitimate, that this man stole his way into this office, and that this was, this was stolen from the American people, can you blame them?
Not turning their backs in protest.
At the end of the day, it is the military, but they're still individuals, and they still have they've still got their own values and all that, and most obviously they're the most patriotic people in the country, and so to think that something like that could have happened and that it was actually stolen, and especially if there was foreign involvement, which there has been alleged to be, yeah, I could see the military having a real problem with that.
These National Guardsmen were on duty with a mission to protect the president against potential threats. Some are facing out to ensure the safety of all.
No. I'm sorry. Nope. If it is, that's the first time they've ever been facing out to ensure the safety of all. Like I said, I went back and looked at other ones, and this don't happen.
What do you think? Let me know in the comments. If there is anyone who knows about the military,
all of them.
Do these soldiers look like they are facing away because they are looking for danger?
No.
Now, I know that people are going to criticize me in this video for getting into conspiracies, but I don't think I'm saying anything that is too far-fetched. 1. The military convinced Donald Trump to run for president. 2.
Yes, confirmed. I agree. 100%.
There's infighting among intelligence agencies.
Yes. As per usual.
3. People within the military wanted to influence the election.
Not so sure about that one. The whole idea, and I would just lean more towards this than what he's saying here. The whole idea is to keep certain people from stealing it. Word is that Obama perfected it. And so, yeah, what if Obama did perfect it, and the plan was just to shoo Hillary right on in, no matter how many, no matter how the vote went. So maybe the military was just, instead of actually influencing the election, maybe they were just trying to protect the election. Now, obviously, in 2020, it didn't work.
4. Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer have a strange photo flashing hand
Yeah, well, we'll go with strange photo
signs. 5. There is evidence Turning Point was violating election laws.
Okay, this gets brought up a lot. Candace uses it. I love Candace to death. I love her work. I mean, all that. Do not get me wrong. Do not take me wrong. But she uses this a lot, and I know why she does it, because it sounds really bad when she's talking about Tyler Boyer in particular. Talks about how he's a criminal, how he had to be, how Trump had to, oh Lord, my mind just went blank, y'all. It's getting late. Pardon him. How Trump had to pardon him, and it was because he violated these election laws. So this is kind of controversial, but I don't think he really did. And there's lots of people, again, much smarter than me, that say that he didn't. So this was all over the electors thing. They called them fake electors, but they were not fake electors. This was a legitimate process, and Democrats have actually done this too. What it is you have an alternate set of electors. You have the official electors that are whatever, signed off on by the governor and everything at the end, but then the vice president has the choice whether to accept those electors or not. That is where Tyler Boyer and all the others came in. So the slate of electors went to D.C., and they had an alternate set of electors that were ready to go in the event that Mike Pence rejected the official set of electors that the government, or that the governor and Secretary of State had signed off on. So they weren't trying to sneak anything in. They weren't trying to, like, they were literally just an alternate slate. They stated as such. They never tried to, like I said, they never tried to swindle. They never tried to, like, it is not what they make it sound to be. So it's a little controversial, but I feel like it's not a legitimate crime. Constitutionally, matter of fact, in the Constitution, it mentions alternate electors. I believe the Constitution does. I need to go back and look at that. But anyway, yes. So it's not an unheard of thing. It's happened many, 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 many times in history where there is an alternate set that goes up that will be ready in case the vice president, who, you know, is over this whole thing, in case he rejects those electors, there is an alternate set that can step in. And that's up to the vice president.
6, there is evidence of financial irregularities at Turning Point. 7, Turning Point.
Yeah, I consider him to be a traitor, and not just for that particular reason, but yes, he is. There's also that where during the presidential campaign, you know, he comes out there on stage and says something to the effect of that he's not worried about the American people, that he's worried about Ukraine. I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but that was exactly the message that he put out there.
It has multiple employees with connections to Fort Huachuca. And 8, Fort Huachuca is the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence. This is the definition of a conspiracy. The only question is, how far did this conspiracy go? Did the military actually break the law to try to influence the election for Donald Trump? Now, with all of this in mind, let us revisit.
So, just a little mind exercise, not saying which way I believe or whatever. Just think about it like this. He says, did the military break the law to get Donald Trump elected? Okay, so did they? I don't know. But is there a difference between breaking the law to get somebody elected, or is there a difference between breaking the law to get somebody elected and upholding the law by monitoring, watching closely, and stopping the law from being broken to affect an election? I don't know.
What happened on the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I'm going to show you 3 things that most people have missed.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Now we're going back to the batshit crazy.
Number 1, the van. On the day of the shooting, there was a black van pulled up right behind Charlie Kirk's tent. This is a breakdown given by a small YouTuber, Algiest Nydream.
And then it's Kirk himself who starts the countdown by tipping his nose. The trunk opens, Turk confirms by tipping his cap in his ear, and the bodyguard also gives his affirmative signal.
I'm going to freeze this frame. I'm not going to show the actual shooting because this is on YouTube, but this is the moment right before the shot happens. In the background, you see the black van. Someone opened the back of this van moments before the shooting happened. Then we also see the bodyguard, Dan Flood, doing some kind of hand sign right before the shooting happens. Now let us go right after the shooting.
In the meantime, they also close the trunk to hide its content from the spectators fleeing the stands. 19 seconds after the shot, we can observe the trunk closed.
19 seconds after the shot, the trunk is closed.
And there may be something to this.
Excuse me? Am I the only person who finds this suspicious?
Just not what he's insinuating. At least that's my thoughts.
So there's a shooting going on, and someone who had just opened the trunk says to themselves, while everyone is running for cover, I'm going to shut the trunk of my van. I find this extremely suspicious. Number 2, the audio. This same YouTuber took audio from the different camera angles and used it to triangulate the trajectory of the bullet.
I looked at all the clips that had a good enough quality to analyze them with the software Audacity. Then I calculated the angles, distances, and crack thumb deltas.
According to his calculations, the bullet from the top of the Losi Center could not have hit Charlie Kirk, but in fact seems to be traveling straight towards the back of the van. This analysis has been repeated by multiple people. Here's another small YouTuber, Jordan Henshaw, who performs the same calculations in a graphic simulation.
Okay, so this software is basically doing exactly what All Jace did, only it's in real time.
Okay, here's the tent where Charlie Kirk is at. Here is the van.
As I drag the little crosshairs right there, it is computing the error between predicted values and actual measured values for Charlie Kirk shot versus the van shot. Doing this in real time, and over here on the right, you can see the amount of error. And over here, this is simulating the mock cone visually in 3 dimensions. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the mock cone to hit the camera or the microphone. Then I say set crack, and then I wait for it to hit, then I wait for the thump sphere to hit the microphone, and I say set thump.
So according to this, someone opened the back of the van, someone shot into the back of the van from the top of the Losi Center, and then they closed the trunk. That leaves the question, what happened to Charlie Kirk? According to the audio, it is not possible for Tyler Robinson
here we go. Just be prepared, y'all.
To have shot Charlie Kirk. Now, these YouTubers are speculating that the death was faked, but I think it is more sinister than that. There was way too many people who wanted to seize control of Turning Point. Number 3, Brown Shirt Man.
All right. He calls him Brown Shirt Man. And I just want to say, for starters, where has he been? Brown Shirt Man? I mean, okay, maybe not everybody knows the name, but anybody that has really dug into this at all knows the name of Brown Shirt Man. It's Rick Cutler. Everybody knows Rick Cutler. Anybody that's really looked into this. So, yeah, for him to call him Brown Shirt Man, it just is a little bit silly. Yeah, I definitely think we should, I think that's definitely something we should also look at, because that's some scary, scary shit, Miss Susan. It really is.
There was a man in the crowd I'm going to call Brown Shirt Man. I want to give credit to all the
or you could just call him Rick Cutler, because that's his freaking name.
Internet sleuths who have been talking about this. I want to especially thank an internet sleuth named Jeff Renz for putting a lot of this information together. And also thank you to another internet sleuth, Dave from Kansas, for helping me research this. Also, I have to give credit to journalist Stu Peters, who's one of the first people to talk about Brown Shirt Man. Here is another angle of the shooting.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Quit calling it a shooting, Zack. Wasn't a shooting. Damn.
Great.
I am blacking out Charlie Kirk. This is the moment of the gunshot. Who is this guy? My understanding is that this is someone named Rick Cutler.
Who is this guy? Rick Cutler. Yeah. Oh, look, you knew his name the whole damn time.
I have not seen this man in video of other Charlie Kirk events, so it appears that he is a new member of the security team. But if he is in security, why would he be stationed behind the barriers? Am I the only person who thinks this is suspicious? He's wearing a brown shirt.
Oh, no, he's not. I wondered why they called him Brown Shirt Man.
I would say he's 30 to 40 years old. He looks like a military guy. You know how people in the military have a certain look? Brown Shirt Man looks like a military guy. Here's another close-up of the Brown Shirt Man from the event. You can see he has a unique tattoo on his arm. This person right here is Frank Turek, who is a pastor who works with TPUSA Faith. A lot of people have been wondering why he's holding his cell phone this way. Frank Turek claims he was on FaceTime.
He was not on FaceTime. Blake Bednarz went into this in great detail. Pretty sure Barron's touched on this. But there are videos of his cell phone where you can plainly see other areas, not where the camera of his phone was aiming. There's clips. You can plainly see it's video of some type, but you can see that it's overhead. So I'm kind of like Alley Top Files. I wonder if it wasn't those micro drones, because at one point you can see what appears to be something like that fly across the screen. I mean, it ain't no damn bug, I don't think, and one hell of a bug if it's a bug.
This does not look like a FaceTime call to me.
No, it's not.
This looks like he is recording video footage.
But he's not. You see, Zach, you should have dug in a little bit further. The footage on that screen is not what it would be. What the footage on the screen is not what that camera would be picking up. That's the whole thing that makes it that much weirder, because that footage is from somewhere else, like it's a drone.
These are three.
Mermaid, I am still, and I'm not completely married to anything. I mean, I am open to whatever information gets dug up, but as it stands right now, I'm 110% behind John Bray. If you'll go back and look, I've done 2 videos, and it's been a ways back. If you'll go back and look, I've done 2 videos on the microphone, and that is, as of right now, I have not seen anything else that is to me more credible than that. So yes, I'm a John Bray exploding microphone all the way. And look, Mermaid, if you go back and watch those videos, I play it in both of them, so you can watch either one or both. But I play a video clip of a little tiny drone that is almost exactly the same size as that microphone. And this guy's demonstrating it on stage. He takes and he just throws it up in the air, and the drone takes off. And he's talking about how it's got 2 or 3 grams of explosive in it. And he explains how it has a shaped charge, which is exactly what the theory is about the microphone. It's got a shaped charge. He throws it up in the air, it flies, and then it goes flying at this dummy at the other end. And it comes down and hits that dummy right in the forehead. And as soon as it does, it goes off. And it's a crack. Sounds like a firecracker, pretty much. There's just a little tiny, a very tiny amount of smoke, just like what you would see when you fired a gun. It puts a hole in his forehead, and it's done. So that proves the theory that you could fit that type of charge into a package that small, and that it would be lethal. So if you have not seen that, you need to go back and watch it. Yeah. Yeah. If you have any trouble finding it, just let me know, and I can go and either put them in a post, or, hey, you know what? I got your email now. I'll tell you what, I'll shoot the links to you. Okay. Mermaid.
3 angles, just so you can understand where Frank Turek is. Frank Turek is pointing his cell phone camera directly at Brown Shirt Man. So I started looking.
I thought we confirmed that his name was Rick Cutler, established that his name was Rick Cutler. Why are we still calling him Brown Shirt Man?
Looking more closely at Brown Shirt Man. Something that strikes me as odd are these sunglasses.
Oh, God.
These are massive, bulky
go.
sunglasses.
I want you to look at those sunglasses. Now, I'm just going to say, yeah, it is. Do you see that? I don't know who helps Zack do his research and all that, but somebody, excuse the language, somebody fucking with him hard. Just saying. Look here. Look here. Oopsie. Too bad my pictures didn't demonstrate that better. I meant to crop them down. Yeah, it's yeah. And they're just gaudy looking. It's not, they're somebody was messing with them. Okay, there we go. Let's get back to the, well, where'd it go? Yeah, here we go. Remove, add. Oh man, he's not a pretty person, is he? He's not a pretty guy. I shouldn't say that. That's mean.
I realize that military men tend to like to wear large aviator-style sunglasses. But
even in that blurry ass picture it just showed, they don't look like that. Like that is weird looking. Somebody had done something to that picture.
Even for aviator sunglasses, these are pretty bulky. The lenses are big, the frames themselves are really bulky. I bring this up because one thing you would want in a high-profile assassination is a laser sight on your gun.
Now we're going way, way the hell out here. We done jumped the fence. We're way past left field.
To make sure you do not miss the target. One thing that militaries use is infrared lasers.
God.
These are lasers that are invisible to the human eye, but can be seen when viewed through IR glasses. Now, normally, IR glasses are massive goggles. But this is something that we know DARPA has been working on. DARPA is the top secret research and development group for the US military. They've been working on something called the Envision program.
No, I don't think his were Meta glasses. I think his are just regular old Ray-Bans or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Now, some of them were, definitely. Dan Flood was. There was a few that were. I believe Rick Cutler's were just regular sunglasses.
These would be normal-looking sunglasses that can see IR lasers even in full sunlight. Here's what it would look like. You can see the laser sight here. So someone could aim their laser sight at Charlie Kirk's neck, and no one would be able to see the laser except for the person wearing the special sunglasses. I think these sunglasses look very suspicious.
Again, we done skipped a lot of steps here. No kind of progression. We just went from here, way out there.
And someone should inspect them. If we continue to watch Brown Shirt Man, I also find the way that he is standing very strange. Who stands this way? If you were at the front row of an event, would you stand like this? It looks like he's bracing himself with one hand on the barrier and then using his arm to steady his other hand. If we zoom into a close-up of his hand, his fingers are spread slightly apart, and it looks like something is poking through his fingers. The thing poking through his fingers is aimed in a direct line to the bullet hole in Charlie Kirk's neck.
Oh, Lord.
Does anyone find this suspicious?
No.
Something that assassins are known to use is called a palm pistol. This is a small circular item you can...
I thought we were off of this whole crackpot theory, but nope. Zack just discovered it. He acts like this is breaking news. Nobody else has talked about this before. Does anybody else find this weird? He's done broke the case wide open. Well, hold on. Having technical difficulties here. Why are we not playing? Oh, sorry, guys. I'll get it playing again.
Hold in the palm of your hand. You would let the barrel of the gun poke out through your fingers, just like what we see with Brown Shirt Man. And you fire the gun by twitching your hand because your palm activates the trigger. I have to say that people have other theories as well. Some people suspect that the twitch of this man's hand is not pulling a trigger mechanism, but instead detonating an explosive device in Charlie Kirk's lapel microphone. But with either theory, people are starting to notice that the movements of Brown Shirt Man look suspicious.
They're starting to notice. I have been hearing about this forever. Palm pistol come out like on day 3, and my God, I didn't think we was ever going to get off of it. It started to die down, but now this fucker done had to bring it back.
If you still do not believe me, take a look at this. 5 minutes before the shot happens, Brown Shirt Man gives a hand signal.
Here you have the shooter signaling to someone else saying, 5 minutes until the shot.
This has been totally debunked, by the way. Barron went over this.
And look carefully who is watching the signal. Watch again. Here the man in the blue shirt turns on his video glasses. I only know this because I have the same.
He wasn't wearing a blue shirt either.
Same glasses. A minute later, he signals 4-minute mark.
So Brown Shirt Man is counting down to the shot.
This is how much he dug into this. So at the time when he allegedly held up the 5 minutes, best I remember, and I could be wrong, but the fact is, the main point is that it's wrong. It does not correlate. But best I remember, when he gave the allegedly 5-minute sign, I think it was like 9 minutes out from the Big Bang, something like that. Barron went over this a couple episodes back. The numbers don't correlate to actual time, leading up to the Big Bang.
He signals 5 minutes, 4 minutes, then gets into position.
Zack said, where'd he go? No, that's one of he sounds retarded. Oh.
Where he raises his hand to his arm. Am I the only person who finds this suspicious?
At this point, yeah, you're the only person.
Come on, people.
Come on. You come on.
He's literally counting down 5 minutes before the shot takes place.
Except it's like 9 minutes before the shot takes place. The Big Bang takes place.
Dan Flood does the final hand signal. The van trunk
still third.
Opens, the shot goes off, and Charlie Kirk falls down.
Now, just to make everybody aware, if you're not already, and you probably are aware, because I think I talked about this in one of my last lives. But yes, John Bray has been doing some testing on the acoustics and all, and he claims that there was a 30 caliber projectile that was fired, but according to him, the sound checks out to be a 30 caliber bullet fired into ballistic steel. So there may be something to that being fired into the van or close to the van, but the rest of that with the palm pistol,
Then after the shot, Brown Shirt Man runs over to Charlie Kirk and kneels down next to Brian Harpole. They carry Charlie Kirk's body into a nearby SUV. Do you notice anything strange about this photo?
I don't know. I'm not looking at their ass, Zack.
The back pocket of Brown Shirt Man, we see the...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on, you guys. I got something I got to show you. And this is not... Just so happens these pants seem like they're about the same color, but this is not the same. This is not the same guy. Y'all see that? This guy's carrying around a weapon of mass destruction in his back pocket. He may be related to Cutler. I just had to show that. Does that look a little similar? Yeah, exactly. I've done it before. Oh, me. Did he not think of this? Yeah, exactly. Like Zen pouches or something. I mean, what the hell? He dug really deep for this one. He got into all that QAnon and all the military intelligence and and then didn't think to check and see about see if that slightly resembled a skull can.
Shape of what?
Now, granted, it isn't just a circle. I see something else in there, but that could just be something else in his pocket. I mean, I'd have to see more than that to be convinced that that's a freaking palm pistol.
It looks exactly like a palm pistol.
Now, it looks like a palm pistol a palm pistol, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord, please don't clip that. It looks exactly like a can of Skull or a can of Copenhagen with something else in his back pocket. Not sure what it is, but...
Does anybody find this suspicious?
No. If you were from Tennessee, Middle Tennessee especially, you see those all day long, even in freaking school, going down the halls.
Can the brown shirt man please explain what was in his pocket?
It weren't that, I promise.
Because it looks like to me like he has the outline of the murder weapon in his back pocket. Now, to be clear, I cannot say for sure that brown shirt man murdered Charlie Kirk.
Well, it's a good thing you're not going to go that far.
This is all circumstantial evidence.
I don't know that I'd even consider it circumstantial evidence. I'm looking at it more like anyway.
I'm trying to figure this out from the limited video footage we have because the police is not investigating this.
This guy must not spend a whole lot of time on X because, granted, yes, there could be way more available, but there's a bunch of footage out
Are
there.
other people with credible theories about what happened that day. For instance, another investigator, Baron Coleman, does not believe the palm gun theory, and he thinks some form of electrocution was used. We do not have all the details, and I am still open.
You notice he didn't argue with that dude, whoever that dude was. Anybody know who that dude was?
to other explanations about what happened. But my opinion, even if we don't have all the facts figured out, this looks like a full-scale military operation. We need a full investigation. We need congressional hearings. One of the questions everyone keeps asking is why Kash Patel, the head of the FBI,
Cross-eyed Cash,
is not investigating any of these leads. Why isn't he looking into Brown Shirt Man?
Because he probably watched the video. And that's about as much investigating, I feel like, as he really needs.
Why isn't he investigating Turning Point? Why isn't he looking into Fort Huachuca? I believe he's ignoring all of these leads because if he starts looking into any of them, it will reveal that this is part of an ongoing military operation to interfere with U.S. elections and benefit Donald Trump. That is why we are not getting justice. This looks like it has been going on all the way back to that photo in 2017 with Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer.
Hell yeah, Mermaid. If you can do that, make it happen, shit, yeah, that would be great. Yep, I said the other night, I'll know I made it when I see a AD Fleet cartoon with me in it. But hey, I'll take it. If you can come up with it, by God, I will take it and be happy for it.
Republicans like this idea of QAnon because it made them feel like the military was going to help them win the election. But the idea was that once Trump took power, he was going to dismantle big government and give the power back to the people. That is not what happened. It looks like he wants even more power. This escalated from 0 to 100 miles per hour really quick.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Zach, about your theory. Talk about escalating and going from 0 to 100 really quick.
And now we're having assassinations. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I do not want the intelligence agencies to interfere with our elections. I don't want the CIA involved. I don't want military intelligence involved. Elections should...
Not unless the military intelligence is keeping foreign actors from, getting their, trying to affect our elections. Now, I'm fine with military intelligence keeping illegal things from happening, but no, I do not want them, I don't want them swaying elections for sure.
Be decided by the people. Now, I would suspect that Donald Trump probably is not aware of everything that is going on. It is common for intelligence agencies to keep the president in the dark sometimes. But if Donald Trump is innocent, he needs to go down to Fort Huachuca and clean up this mess. Because it looks like to me like Charlie Kirk was murdered and it was not done by Tyler Robinson.
That I can agree with. Touche, buddy. Hey, I'm proud of him. Somebody get this man a cigar. He got that part right. Allegedly. That's what I think.
I just want to end with this. I am exposing some very powerful people. Please share this video with a friend and help get this information out there. And if something happens to me, just know that I did not commit suicide. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with my working theory? Let me know in the comments.
I'm sorry, Zach. I think it needs just a few tweaks here and there.
Down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so
I've enjoyed it. We've all enjoyed it, I do believe.
so you don't miss out on future videos. If you want to support independent journalism like this channel, consider signing up for a membership
Well, I did until this time.
on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, your support helps me.
Okay, guys, what did y'all all think about that? Was that not some good shit? I told you it was going to be. That not some good shit. All right, before I forget, let me get this link here. Okay. And we will see this hilariousness happen. Okay. Okay, you guys, are we ready? Fire in the hole.
You are so indefatigable. I do admire that about you, Dad. I really do.
What was
I
your reaction
really
when you
do.
heard that President Obama was going to endorse you?
It was great. It was great. I mean,
Hold on, I'm sorry. I meant to make this big. Okay.
you are so indefatigable. I do admire that about you, Dad. I really do.
What was
I
your reaction
really
when you
do.
heard that President Obama was going to endorse you?
It was great. It was great. I mean, it was a wonderful, meaningful endorsement in every way, and I was very proud to have it.
There it is.
Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys have got to try the cold chai.
Fucking bobblehead.
I've had it.
Looked like she belonged on somebody's dashboard.
It's delicious, isn't it?
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you all so much.
Gotta love multiple angles.
And how did you talk about Senator Warren? Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys have got to try.
She looked like she was imitating Monica Lewinsky. She's even wearing a blue dress.
The cold chai. I've had it.
Yeah, that lady was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, you like that, didn't you? Well, that'll make somebody a good clip. That'll make a good short. Oh, let's see. Let's do that one more time. That's pretty good stuff. She does have the eyes of a devil. Well, let's watch that one more time.
You are so indefatigable. I do admire that about you, Dad. I really do.
Indefatigable. Is that what she said?
What was
I
your reaction
really
when you
do.
heard that President Obama was going to endorse you?
It was great.
That's right, Miss Susan.
It was great. I mean, it was a wonderful, meaningful endorsement in every way, and I was very proud to have it.
That look on the reporter's face is priceless.
Talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren.
You guys have got to try the cold chai. I've had it. It is delicious, isn't it?
Okay.
It's to die for.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you all so much. In every way.
And how did you talk about Senator Warren? Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys.
The look on her face, her eyes, it's almost like, why am I doing this?
You've got to try the cold chai.
I've had it.
This is the best part right here. It's priceless. Whoa. I'd like to hear what come out of her mouth. That's funny. Oh, that was a good way to finish this thing off, guys. That was really good. Thank you, Mermaid. I hadn't thought about that clip in a very long time, but I needed that. That was good stuff. If you want to clip that out, go right ahead. Oh God, I know. I heard some horror stories. People getting stuff thrown at them and everything. Yes, I had a very good time. I really appreciate hey, I don't remember whose idea it was to do this, but thank you very much for the idea, for the tip, and thank you for that link for that video. That was that made it everything even better. Wasn't exactly totally related, but it was a good way to finish it off. So, yep, absolutely. Good idea, Mermaid. Glad you thought of that. All right, guys. Sadly, I got to go do my. Oh, absolutely, Miss Rainin. Thank you for showing up. That's a big part of a great show is having y'all guys in there. Just think about it. We wouldn't have got that clip at the end if it hadn't been for y'all in there. But yeah, sadly, yeah. Good night, everybody. Sadly, I've got to go do my real job tomorrow. So I'm in the roofing business. So yeah, with the weather we've had, it's crazy. So I'm going to sign out. We're going to try to do it again tomorrow night. I want to try to do this every night if I can, at least when I can. So y'all just keep an eye out. If y'all ain't liked it, make sure you do. And I think y'all are all subscribed, but if not, do that for me. Anybody else that sees this in the future, please subscribe. We have a good time here. So, all right, y'all. Good night. Thank y'all for showing up, and hopefully I'll see y'all all here tomorrow night.